Hi, it's Wyndham. How do you deal with comparison? And for the purposes of this, I'm not interested in other people's comparison of you to somebody or something else. What I'm really interested in is the voice in our head driving us to compare ourselves to other people. How do you deal with that voice that says, oh, they're doing so much better than you? Why aren't you doing that? Why don't you have that opportunity? I bet you can't do that. Is it any wonder you're not as good as them? All those frustrating, painful, self-diminishing comparison stories. How do you deal with that? Because over the last week or two, I've been noticing an increased presence in my life via Instagram of one particular person's feed. Like me, they are a coach. We have very different potential clients. We're looking to work in different ways. And yet, I see their stories, I see their grid, I see their reels, whatever it might be. And this voice in the back of my head is there going, they're doing so much better than you. And then the voice says, maybe you should be doing it like they're doing it. And the reason I want to talk about it is because when I left my last career, I made myself two promises. The first promise was I am never going to do anything I don't believe in again. Spent more than 20 years doing things I didn't believe in ways I didn't believe in. And I was done. I was not willing to do that anymore. And it led to the second promise. And the second promise was, I am going to do this my way. Like I said, 20 years of having other people tell me when I had to be in certain places, how I should work, what I should work on, how I should show up. I was done. I wasn't going to carry those habits into my life because I didn't believe in them. And so when I look at how I show up on social media, I am on social media, I have Instagram, I have LinkedIn, I have YouTube. But when I look at how I show up, it's intentional, it's deliberate. I'm not on it every day. I upload content twice a week, and I'm okay with that because that is how I want to be. That's how I want to use my time. I want to free up time away from it all to do more of the things I really want to do. And because my strategy has been, I am going to speak from my experience. I am going to speak from my heart. Yeah, I want to talk about things that I have learned, not necessarily the things I've been taught. And that strategy is linked to those two promises. I don't have to look at the analytics on YouTube, for example, because I want to talk about what I want to talk about. And the people I want to help, I know, because I was there myself, these things at certain times will resonate. So I'm doing it my way. I'm doing the things I believe in, and I'm not doing things I don't believe in. And yet, this voice kicks in, saying, oh, they're doing better than you. What would happen if you changed your approach? And so take a moment in your life, those two promises. Now they're my promises, but reflect on them in your life for a moment. How much of what you do you believe in? And then how much of how you go about it is genuinely yours, and how much of it is imposed? And you know what? It might not matter. It might not be an issue for you. But if you have that self-comparison kicking in, then it might be worth giving yourself the time and space to get more deeply connected with who you are. Are you living your life in a way you can believe in? Are you pursuing things you hold value in? Are you doing it in a way that is true to who you are? Or are you doing it in a way that everybody else does it? And you're doing it in that way because it just appears to be the way. Give yourself a break when that self-comparison comes in, because we know all those one-liners, those memes, those, pithy well-being slides we see that say comparison is the thief of joy. True. How does that help me? Don't try to be anybody else, they're already taken. True. How does that help me? Always be yourself. True. But how does that help me? When that comparison kicks in, ask yourself those two questions. Do I believe in what I am currently doing? Am I connected to it? Because if I am, where I am, it doesn't make any difference where somebody else is in relation to it. There's another slide that says, don't compare the start of your journey to the middle of someone else's. Now that is a great one. That is a constant reminder that you have no idea how far that other person has already come. You have no idea the trials and tribulations that other person has already overcome. And more importantly, you are discounting the trials and tribulations that you have already overcome. You are forgetting how far you have already come. And if you can answer those two questions, do I believe in what I'm doing? And am I doing it my way? If you can answer those two questions affirmatively, you're so much further ahead than the vast majority of people. And if at the moment you can't answer affirmatively to those two, then give yourself some time and space to consider what else you might look at, what else you might give your focus to. I leave you with that. I wish you a peaceful and joyful few days, and I will speak to you soon.